Okay, so I guess we're starting now. Hey guys, it is the third day, I guess, of the league, and today's match is TTFU versus Epic Gorog. You saw Epic Gorog playing yesterday. They lost one of their matches, so they'd be hoping to, make a comeback in this game. And I'm being joined by Loki, who will thankfully be doing play-by-play, hopefully, because I suck at it.
Alright guys, what's going on? My name is Loki, your best caster, and let's start this game, I guess.
Well, fans coming out, Lee Sin, Zed and Draven from the blue team. Draven is unorthodox. What do you think about that?
Well, I guess, it's just blue team doing their homework. I mean, probably researching some of their players and found out that one of their players' most played games is Draven. So I guess, they're kind of scared of that Draven because even like mechanically like okay Draven can actually like almost outtrade anyone in that bot lane, and then combine that with like a decent support or an aggressive support, and you got yourself a winning bot lane. So yeah.
Yep. That's true. Morgana and Wayne being banned. Yasuo coming out. I guess purple team's bans are more generic, except the Wayne one, because that's sort of targeted. Whereas when you look at blue team, Draven, both teams choosing to target their bans toward the ADCs, whereas the rest of them are just generic strong champions who I guess these teams just don't want to face.
Indeed, and over on the blue team, we do have a first pick Thresh locked in. So I guess you can kind of say it's kind of smart to take Thresh, but you could have gotten another strong champion. Like even though with these bans up, we have like a J4 open who's like very strong in the jungle now. You have a Maokai top lane who's also very strong. You have a Lucian, which is always will be strong. So first picking Thresh, it doesn't look like a good idea to me. But what are your thoughts?
I think, well, looking at purple team, they picked Vi and Jinx the last time too. So, I mean, it's a very one-dimensional this thing. Okay, Graves, I would really prefer Graves. First picking Thresh, honestly, yeah, it's true. You should have picked something better. Lucian would have been a better decision, and there Jarvan coming out. But I guess blue team has done their research, and they're not afraid of picking Thresh and just letting blue team do whatever they want, because purple team do whatever they want, because then blue team clearly is trying to get the edge over the big ban phase, whereas purple team is just trying to pick champions which they're comfortable with. And I would be really surprised if this is like Caitlyn. She is strong in this patch. What are your thoughts on that, Caitlyn?
Well, yeah, as you said earlier, just in general about Caitlyn, she is a very safe champion. She's got a lot of range as an AD carry alone, so you can harass, or even if you're not very confident in your lane, you can stay back and at least CS from a distance. So she is of course a very good pick, but then you have like better picks right now. Like still nobody has taken you still have Graves, which is very bursty in this patch, and they could have gone for the Graves Thresh lane. You also have Lucian, who will always be strong, and also Corki, who's supposed to be the king of AD carries in this meta. In this patch at the moment. But Caitlyn, not bad. I guess they're just trying to match up the range with Jinx, because I believe her Q Rocket gives a lot of range, which is good for taking up kills. So yeah, probably it's just a range match. I'm not sure, but if I was in Agent of Chaos's position, I'd probably pick something more bursty like a Lucian or Graves.
I think you do have a point, but I think the resurgence Graves is seen is mainly due to Corki's, is the king, has reclaimed the throne of the king of ADCs. Because you'd see that holy trinity of Ezreal, Corki, and Graves. So the Graves is generally considered a good counter to Corki, and that's why that plus the buffs he got recently, this allows him to make a resurgence. I really would like to see a Graves pick here, and that's the thing about League. Now that Graves has seen a resurgence, so has Caitlyn, because Caitlyn clearly has a range differential over Graves, and she can handle him in lane over a Corki who could handle a Graves, but it's just more viable to pick a Caitlyn. And Leona and Renekton coming out. Renekton also being strong. Quinn being locked in. That's a Quinn top lane.
A very unorthodox top laner. So yeah, I guess in lower elos, I'd like to say Quinn top lane is actually quite famous, I'd say, because I'm actually don't really know. I guess Ice Slayer, he used to play Quinn top lane, and I don't really know how you make it work. I guess you just keep poking with your E and Q. And actually, if you just look at the general matchup between Renekton and Quinn,
Yeah.
Quinn actually, kind of counters Renekton, I'd say, because she
You
doesn't
know,
really
Red
want to
Acton's
duel
melee.
Renekton. Yeah, she doesn't want to duel Renekton, but she can still get her, try and poke him with his passive, use his E to dash away from him, and also blind him with the Q in case if he goes for the stun or something. So it is looking at it from a team wise, like team comp wise, it's not really a good pick. But then just looking at it as a normal lane matchup, I'd say it is kind of a good pick against Renekton. So
Absentia
yeah.
locking in the Akali, and he really likes his Akali. But the problem is, last time he played, he got completely demolished by the Yasuo. I mean, it wasn't even a fair contest. Maybe this time, Absentia hoping to show up better than last time, and it does look really standard. Let's talk about the individual lane matchups here for a second. We'll start with bot lane. So, what are your thoughts on Jinx, Leona versus Caitlyn and Thresh?
So yeah, Leona is actually a very. Let's just talk about some general things first, and then we'll go into how trading works out. So, yeah, Leona with her passive just provides a lot of burst for her AD carry. She's just very tanky and has a lot of CC. And Thresh also is also very good. He has his Q, he has his death sentence, he has his lantern for mobility, and his flay also to get like incoming engages off. And yeah, it is. Both these supports are very good. They were very famous, I guess, in the beginning of season 4. In the LCS or any competitive tournament, we used to see the classic Thresh versus Leona matchup. But it all depends upon skill level, I'd like to say, because I guess in higher elo we would see a Thresh being the winner of the lane, because whenever Leona tries to engage, Thresh can
Thresh
always
to
flay
just play it
away.
away, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was X Special, I think, who first actually found out about that mechanic in
Yeah, he beat the
one of the
shit
TSM
out of
games.
Curse.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I don't think in lower elos and like not very experienced Thresh players, they can't really react in time, for that. So yeah, I guess we try to see. I guess if both lanes do respect each other enough, it should be just like a farm matchup. But if they considerably don't know anything about each other, then it could be a very rough bot lane with I guess Jinx coming out on top,
Yep.
because
CC, just because of the
yeah,
pure
yeah.
CC.
I do believe her poke, like her auto attack range, is it fairly comes up to Kate with with those rockets, but just I guess in general poke could kind of come out on top with her W, which gives a lot of burst damage at the early levels. So yeah, I'd like to see how this goes. Caitlyn, on the other hand, is really good in poke, but she is very mana hungry if you just keep poking. So if she can if she can kind of use her passive effectively, her headshot, I do believe, yeah, headshot passive effectively, and try and poke Jinx out of lane, then blue team should be coming out on top. But either way, it looks fairly even.
Yep, it does, honestly. But I would expect the Leona Jinx bot lane to, go aggressive once Jinx gets a BF sword. Because Jinx can. Caitlyn's power spike is when she hits her Infinity Edge, whereas Jinx can, is not extremely strong once she hits her IE. I mean, she is, but considering the range differentials, you'd expect that bot lane to go immediately after they hit their BF sword. And talking about the range, Caitlyn, her attack range is 650, whereas Jinx's range is 525. But when you combine it, after the second point being put into the Q, Jinx's Q, she will be able to match up because it provides her 100 bonus range. 625, 650, it's just a mere differential of 25. It does allow Caitlyn room to poke, but you have to be extremely surgical with that. And well, that's so far for the bot lane. Talking about the mid lane, we have Akali versus Syndra. This I would like to call it a skill matchup because Syndra does have the tools to deal with Akali once she goes in. I mean, you can just burst her down. But Akali does also have the tools to wait out Syndra's burst, going invisible, going in and going invisible after that. And then Syndra's just going to have to try and pop her Qs and, hope that it hits Akali. But I would wager it's a skill matchup. What about you?
Yeah, it is. Comes down to skill. Sorry, but what I've noticed a lot of Syndra being played in this tournament, like they'd get an early game power spike. Like they do very well in the early game, but unfortunately, but like once I guess Akali, once she hits her power spike and starts getting up those big items like a Hextech Gunblade or something, and really get that spell vamp and lifesteal, she should come out top like on duels, because Akali, what we see a lot of Akalis do is they'll play very passive. They'll try and CS as much as they can, and once they hit that level 6 mark, and once they get a Hextech Gunblade, I do believe they'll just go full aggressive, and then Syndra, not knowing what to do, I guess would probably die in the duel. If Syndra uses her advantage, which is again her range advantage, I mean she has a long range uh stun. She has a long range poke, and she's also a range champion, while Akali is preferably a melee one. So if she can just keep out poking Syndra whenever possible, and just playing aggressive in that poke matchup, then she should come out on top. And also they have to look up. I'd like to say a lot of warding coming out on blue side. I mean, team one, sorry, because Akali, she really won't have much kill potential in her lane, so she might be
Yeah.
looking for roams to bot lane or top lane or even in the jungle and just taking up kills. But yeah, so that's my take on that.
Yep, I guess yeah, you have a point about that. One thing I'd like to point out though, um, the Absentia lost lane to a Yasuo, which is also considerably a skill matchup. So if God must be crazy, can farm up to a level where he can at least match up. I think he'll have it easier. Now that we've loaded into the game, everybody's already bought their items. Leona starting out Relic Shield, and Thresh as always standard starts. Top lane, we've already spoken about that. Quinn should be able to out-duel Renekton in lane, but once it comes to the team fights, it's all about who's more fed, I guess. And the jungle matchup, we've seen this yesterday as well. Pretty straightforward, Vi and Jarvan. Jarvan does have the edge, but Vi with the CC. Now that Morgana's Black Shield is not in this game, I guess Vi, it's just a clear signal like go in. Whereas Jarvan's ult can be both beneficial and non-beneficial to the team, considering how yesterday we had a Jarvan lock in his team in a Katarina ult. So it's just a clear matchup. Let's talk about the team comps. Well, you can see blue side has a very defined team comp, trying to go for those picks, and they have a good distribution of everything: poke, wave clear, and picks. Whereas red team, it's not that obvious, I'd like to say. What about you? What do you think about this?
Yeah, well, team comp, red team, they do have a tank. They do have Renekton in those team fights. So, I guess for objective control, I'd like to say that red team would be looking more favorable in the team fighting phase, contesting for those objectives. But blue team also has a really good team comp. They have mostly a late game team comp, because once that Quinn starts scaling to like really late game, she's gonna be doing a lot of damage. But early game, for like an early 10-minute or 20-minute dragon or something like that, I guess it should be. I guess red team should come out on top. So yeah, that's my
Yep.
take. What's your take on the team comp?
I think blue team will win the team fights as long as they're not too spread out. Because if the spread out team fight does occur, that is where Akali is like, that's Akali's habitat. She can naturally thrive off the spread out team fights, jumping in between enemies, trying to get out. But in a grouped up team fight, even though Renekton's ultimate and Jinx's rockets will do a damage, if Jinx is CC'd adequately, they have a fighting chance in the team fight. Whereas when you look at red team, they would really like to go for the big engages with Vi going ulting one of the key members, preferably Syndra, because if she doesn't have Zhonya's, Syndra's pretty much a sitting duck in the face of Vi and Akali. Akali would just jump on her, Vi would jump on her. So would Renekton. You can clearly see in red team that they want to go in, like it's all going in, and Jinx is pretty much left over there to poke from behind. So if you see red team getting far ahead, you just see every 4 members of red team just going in, and then nobody'd stay back to peel for Jinx. I mean, she'd have to rely on her teammates trying to CC blue team effectively. Now looking at top lane, you can clearly see how how Quinn is poking out Renekton early. But you know, Renekton seems to be doing a good job of transferring some poke back. And the minions also playing an extremely important role in the early levels because their damage is not to be underestimated. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, indeed. So, looking into the top lane, Renekton trying to, I guess, duel Quinn, but Quinn just dishing out a lot of damage
Yeah, both
with those
junglers.
blinds and those.
Both
Yeah,
junglers
so,
in the top lane.
Yeah, so Vi apparently looks pretty low, so she will be recalling to the base. Meanwhile, Jarvan is just up top camping in that blue bush and the bush over there. I don't really think it's a good idea. Renekton is just too far put back. I think he's trying to, you know, get Captain Awesome snowballing or something like that, which kind of isn't a good,
Working?
kind of isn't preferable. Yeah, it would be
but
working,
he
but
just
this
goes
is just...
in.
Yeah, this is just too early, but now here comes Jarvan, you know, with the EQ, Renekton just able to double dash out of that. So, yeah, again, he was kind of pushed in, and, you know, Renekton having that extra mobility, just able to get out of there. I don't know why Corrupt is staying. They will go for the tower dive, and Corrupt taking a lot of damage. Renekton trying to double dash again. It will be a 1-for-1. Here comes Vi, charging up her Q, going in, trying to get in range of Captain Awesome. Will use the smite. Now she'll just try and walk up to her, but Quinn with the blind, putting up her in, and there's the Q. I mean, E, sorry, coming out. And, yeah, Vi will back, so... nothing happening there except, you know, you got the 1-for-1 trade-off between Renekton and the Jarvan, which I don't think was worth it. Well, it was kind of worth it where blue team did get the first blood, but, you know, now you have, oh, now we have Vi coming in again. We also have the teleport from Renekton coming up, but that wouldn't be doing much. Captain Awesome just able to E away and get to his own safety.
I think his stream is a little behind. Just try and adjust the slider because I think it's a little behind. But bot lane, Akali looking to roam bot, and that trade, I would like to say it was in favor of the blue team because Renekton, I mean, up until Renekton did not use his teleport, that was fine. But now that's a summoner spell down, and Quinn not having teleport, that was a big asset. To you know, red team, they have the ability to assert more map pressure with Renekton, CC, and tankiness. But now they've just lost that, and they're not going to gain it for another 3 minutes, I guess.
Oh, now Vi over in the bot lane looks like getting caught out. Corrupt EQing onto Vi. The EQ does not hit, but a little damage will be going onto Vi. Nothing much happening there. I think if Jarvan hit that EQ, we would see probably a potential flash or so coming out from Vi, but he didn't hit the EQ, so just a little bit exchange in damage.
Corrupt has been missing his EQs. He missed the first one top lane. That should have been, you know, a kill there if he hit the first one, but just missing out. I guess he's just, the nerves are getting to him or something. Bot lane, you can see Caitlyn pushing up with Thresh quite aggressively, and now, you know, that lane, the bot lane, as expected, you know, not too many trades coming out early, but you can see that this lane is always constantly on the edge, where red team keeps trying to engage and blue team just wants to deny it. Now blue team trying to go for the engage, but no, nothing happens. Mid lane, Quinn swapping with Syndra. What do you think about that?
Well, I think mostly it's because of the builds where Renekton just rushed that early chain vest, so I guess it's not really comfortable that she could, you know, deal with the chain vest Renekton. So, you know, once you got Syndra up there, she can do a lot of AP damage, so she'll be able to really chunk the Renekton. One thing that's not really in their favor is that the blue team will have a level disadvantage at the moment, so... You know, we'll see both the red team top and mid laner get level 6 first, but nothing really does happen, but yeah.
Yep, Akali moving up top right now, trying to get immobile Syndra, and that's really, but the ward spots it out. That was a well-placed ward by Syndra. I mean, it was, no, actually it's quite telegraphed. Akali should, you know, vary your paths a little bit because those wards are quite obvious. Losing out on quite a bit of farm. She really wants this kill up top. For good reason though. This could be a lane swap too. You never know.
Indeed, in the top lane we do have Renekton going a little bit aggro onto Syndra. Syndra using her stun, but Renekton just backing off. Akali is still up in that top lane. I don't think Syndra does notice, so they probably might be looking for a gank on the Syndra. Akali does have her Shadow Dance, but now we have Syndra being a bit aggressive. Both people stunning each other. Absentia flashing in to try and get the Shadow Dance, but God must be crazy just flashing out. Good play by them. Good play by Syndra, I think.
Yeah, that was good play by Syndra, but you know, now that I still think that was in favor of Red Team, because I mean Akali's flash, it's not a huge loss to her because Akali looks to go in anyway, and whereas Syndra's loss of flash is a little too, it's more detrimental than Akali losing flash, because she's immobile as it is, and once her QE combo goes down, you're pretty much a sitting duck, and I'd be seeing Vi go top. I guess this information that should be the call. Vi should go top, and Jarvan should stay around in case they go for the turret dive. He should be able to. I guess this is what we see both junglers doing. But
yeah,
you know,
and one thing I'd like to point out is both junglers have really good ganking potential, but their ganking potential is mainly Vi's Q and Jarvan's EQ. Kind of takes, I guess, a bit of skill to hit. So if both these junglers try and gank a lane and both of them like miss their EQ and Q, then the gank would probably not be very effective. But if they do hit it, then the gank will be crucial. So it all matters upon the junglers for ganking. If they can hit their gank ability, if they can, then the gank would go good. But if they can't, then it's not really gonna go good in their favor.
Vi hanging out in the mid lane right now, and Captain looking to go aggressive. Vi showing herself finally, misses the Q, but as you the counter gang comes in, going for Absentia. This would be a double
Jarvan
kill
coming in
for
with
Jarvan.
the EQ, puts the Cataclysm on, gets two of them in, tries to take Absentia very down. Absentia being very low, Shadow dashes on, but here comes Syndra coming in with the double kill. Beautiful roam by Syndra.
Yup. I think that should have been information communicated by Red Team, especially Renekton, considering they had wards placed around pretty much everywhere. That is a misplay. Okay, no wait, those are blue team wards. Never mind. I derped. That was bad. But they should have still communicated, you know, the missing in the top lane. Bot lane, Leona just going to go place some wards down and taking the safer route, not knowing where Jarvan is right now. But she still hasn't warded Dragon. I guess that's because she does not have one ward. Red Team, you know, just I think the reason Red Team are losing games is because they're just falling into these predictable patterns of solo queue. Not just solo queue, but even in their games, they're showing a very, one-dimensional pick ban phase. And the only difference is probably top lane and bot lane just showing a couple of showing diversity in their support and top lane picks, but that's all. But Syndra now can get a lot of her ass down considering she has double buffs and that mana regen, and cooldown reduction will help her a lot. Plus not to forget the additional burn on her auto attacks. That will be extremely good as well.
Indeed, so right now Syndra with those double buffs can farm that lane very well and also harass Renekton. So yeah, I'd like to see that, but just looking at the top lane matchup between both Quinn, Syndra, and Renekton is actually farming very well against these people. I don't know how. He's trying to show as much harass as he can, and while he's also trying to farming very well. So Vi coming in for a gank, but that gank kind of was a failed with Thresh ultimate, and
but the gank turned down.
But it only catches one person turtled up. Good ultimate coming in by Leona, but the Jinx ultimate will take down a few people. We have Agent of Chaos flashing in, taking the kill onto Jinx. Agent of Chaos goes down to Vi, and now it's Thresh. Here we come Mad Titan, and he does flash. The exhaust does go down, and that's, I guess, goes into... Oh, over in the mid lane, we do have Akali picking up a kill onto Quinn. So a lot of
things happen there. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of things happening, and now this does look like Red Team's Dragon.
Unless Thresh can get the... Oh, he does not land it. But that's alright. You know, Red Team still... Blue Team still holding the goal lead on basis of their farm. Yeah, you pointed it out well, considering that, you know, Renekton's been able to hold his own both in the top lane, beating out Quinn in farm, as well as, just losing out to Syndra by a couple of, 14 maybe 2-3 waves of farm. But that's to be expected. I mean, Renekton has to sacrifice on farm because he's taken teleport. But as always, you can see the Akali is not performing well, and there's the DC. No, but he's back. So right now, Akali has not been playing that well, to be honest. We saw this last game too. She's rushed the Megatron's cloak, and that's actually a detriment to her because now that they've switched, and a pause coming out from Purple Team. So this gives us some time to break down the previous.
What I wanted to ask you is what time are you on Vision?
Okay, yeah, I'm actually on 13:44. It's live.
No. What's your pause timer?
Okay, my pause timer is 29:40, 29:39. You're a bit behind. 35, 34,
34, 33.
32,
Yeah, so we're
31.
all on the same time, I guess.
Yeah. I was casting a bit ahead of you. I noticed that.
Yeah, you were casting a bit ahead because you said the pause was coming in and
It wasn't. Yeah, I know. I pointed it out, but you were in the middle of the cast, so I guess you didn't hear that. So talking about the jungler matchup, I disagree with you on the fact that Vi and Jarvan have this very Vi has a very one-dimensional approach. True, Jarvan can mix in his EQ and sort of get around wards and stuff. So can Vi, but she doesn't often look to do that. But she does have her fail-safe in the form of her R. She can still Q a certain distance, and even if she misses the Q, she can ult onto the target that is a priority and CC them for at least 2 to 3 seconds, whereas Jarvan his CC is not so it's not such a, his ult is not a hard CC, it's just a very, very useful tool to zone out a couple of enemies, but it doesn't stop them from attacking or still trying to get damage onto other members of the team. And when you look at Akali, she has the ability to ult almost everybody on red team having the ability to get out of Jarvan's ult, with the exception of Jinx. Renekton can dash out of there. Leona does need the help of another enemy, but it's not like she really wants to get out of situations. She'd rather be looking to stun and peel for her AD carry. But I think blue team, even though their composition has been thought out really well, I think they're losing out on a few factors to red team, and you can see that is at least a little evident. Even in that bot lane trade that happened, you could see Jarvan going in for the EQ. He got the knock up, but he underestimated the damage and Vi's ultimate. So I mean, red team we could still see them coming out on top, and like you said, they do have the tank.
Yeah,
that
indeed.
always
So
works
the
out.
game is not completely one-sided as of now. We just have a blue team just with a little bit of gold difference because of CS, and mainly because of blue team picking more of pressure lanes like the Quinn top lane or mid lane in this case, and the Syndra top lane at the moment. So yeah, but
User
I'd like to
left your
mention
channel.
the bot lane. The bot lane in this case.
User joined your channel.
Yeah, in the bot lane in this case, Caitlyn is kind of wrecking Jinx in the bot lane. I mean, we do have 48, I think a 48 plus farm, a 48 farm lead from Caitlyn to the. So yeah, bot lane, really making a huge difference. Top lane, 15, I guess, yeah, 15 CS, not much of a deal. Mid lane, again, another huge deal, 48 farm to 80 farm. I guess right now, what red team needs to do is they need to focus more on kills, or at least farm, because they need to try and get back into the gold lead, because it's right now a 3k gold lead exactly between the blue team and red team. So most of it is just mainly due to farm. I mean, we did see a couple of skirmishes happening in the map and stuff, but then I guess in the most important skirmish, red team came out on top and took the dragon. So yeah. Mainly it's because of the farm differences, so we'll see what the red team do in order to get that gold lead.
True. And red team actually having some issues right now. That's why I went out of the room, to try and solve their issues, because one person was not on the team speak. But so right now, You know, this is an exceptionally long pause. I'm hoping they can get their issues sorted out. You do have a point though. It's not clearly one-sided, but it does have the ability to turn, you know, into a Stormfest if and only if, you know, blue team manages to use their poke and their disengage effectively. We actually have not spoken about their disengage. They do have the ability to, you know, get out of situations in the form of, you know, Quinn's E, Caitlyn's E, Jarvan's EQ can be used defensively as well, and Thresh's Lantern can be used to help Syndra, who's normally very immobile, but, you know, she can flash in. If they're coordinated enough, she can flash in, get the EQ, get the QE and ult onto a priority target, and just take the Thresh right back to, you know, wherever the hell she came from. So that is another possible scenario.
Indeed. So yeah, first dragon, I guess we saw was kind of uncontested for. It did go to the red team because of that beautifully played bot lane skirmish where we had Renekton teleport in. But right now Renekton's teleport is down, so I guess you know, blue team would be looking forward to D-ward and to get more skirmishes happening in the map now, because in terms of small skirmishes and just roaming in general, I guess blue team would have the advantage. And now we see the game being unpaused, so I guess a little bit of action should be happening now. Not much, but Quinn pushing very deep into the mid lane, trying to take down the turret, I guess, which will be the second turret for blue team. So again, the reason the gold advantage is because of just red team not CSing properly, and because of their lack on objectives. They have taken the dragon, which gives them an edge in terms of damage and a little bit of gold, but then blue team did answer back with a turret. So really interesting to see how this team goes, especially the bot lane, where there's almost a 50 farm difference in terms of CS alone. So no, I'd like to really see how this one works out. Meanwhile, over in the bot lane, we do have Vi kind of trying to come up for a gank, but he will get spotted by the ward. And we have the whole team in the bot lane area. Don't know what we're doing, but we have Vi getting caught out. The ignite goes down, and Captain Awesome will take up the kill. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Corrupt getting caught out. The death sentence does go on, but it doesn't land. Corrupt taken very low. Beautiful shield comes down by Thresh, and the Leona ulti not doing much. Meanwhile, Captain Awesome also coming down to bot lane, but they did have a good disengage. Will be happening here. And again, another sloppy mistake coming up from the red team, which just pushes them back in gold. And, you know, they really can't afford to have these type of sloppy mistakes happen. So, yeah, meanwhile in the top lane, the turret does go down. Syndra using her ulti very recklessly, doesn't do much damage to a Sunfire Cape Renekton. So yeah, alright, coming down to the builds, what do you think of Renekton rushing that Sunfire Cape in the lane with the Syndra? Never mind. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we do have an engage going on. Leona playing a bit too aggressive, does get hit down, and Caitlyn walking away with another kill. Jinx very low, will back off. So again, another sloppy engage by Leona. Red team, you know, they had the, I guess, closer lead, but then they just kind of threw it all away. Like one sloppy play after another, which started with Vi getting caught out near the dragon area after they finished dragon, just standing on top of a ward trying to gank. But yeah, the sloppy mistakes red team cannot make, because if they get pushed too deep into the hole where they're kind of digging themselves right now, they might not be able to come and climb back up. So no, they really need to watch out. They need more wards on the map. There's not much warding going on by the red team. They have about one ward, I'd say, right now on the map, and you know, they need to start warding, get better vision down, and you know, not make those sloppy plays that they've been making before.
They're disappointing me, man. My name is Vision. This is not bad. This is just not working out. But you know, red team, but blue team, you know, trying to compensate by having good wards in the bot side and adequate wards, I'd say, on the top side, but no, actually less than adequate, because they just have one, the solitary one in the river bush. Yeah, speaking about Renekton's build, I guess he was just committed towards, okay, wait a second, Syndra catching out.
We do have D-Factor getting caught out. God Must Be Crazy taking the kill. Now we have a Kali trying to go aggressive onto God Must Be Crazy. Here comes Quinn, but they can't see his body quite yet. The thing. She tries to ulti into 5 people, but she will go down. Syndra going down, but Akali but taking down 5 with her. So yeah, I guess that again was a sloppy play by Akali again, just trying to go too aggressive. You know, she did have that invisibility in her shroud to not take a lot of damage. Just, you know, going too aggressive into 3 members of blue team. Just not very good. We also have a dead set that's being put down, but that doesn't get that doesn't do any good. So yeah, again, sloppy mistake after another, and red team just digging their hole. I mean, they're gonna be digging their hole until they can't dig back up. So this doesn't look like a good situation red team should be in. Instead, they should be trying to play it very passive, trying to ward out, probably catch somebody out, and you know, try to just wait for the dragon or something to come out. But no, they're getting caught now. Here we have Thresh trying to catch out 2 members of the blue team. We do have Corrupt and Twin coming down, and they will focus their target onto Jinx. Jinx doing all she can to try and live, but Captain Awesome taking her down, and it's just one sloppy mistake after another. I mean, as you said before, inadequate wards in the jungle, just you know, getting them caught out from left and right.
I mean, guys, red team does not have Rexa, and they just keep taking themselves, and you know, this just isn't working out. Caitlyn pushing bot lane, and we know that if one champion can answer the push of, you know, the pushing part of Jinx, it is Caitlyn, you know, with those coordinated pushes that can catch a team off guard. And we saw CJ Blaze, you know, back in their when they were in their prime, using this slow push strategy. Not that it is, I'm not so sure that it's being voluntarily done by blue team, but it is the same. Red team going for dragon right now, but keep in mind that the dragon does do a lot of damage now that they've upgraded its attacks to AoE and as well. But
now
why getting caught out?
Why getting caught out? Beyond the Cataclysm goes on Akali, and Akali trying to flash out. We do have Captain Awesome going aggressive, and that'll be Jarvan taking out the kill. Meanwhile, we have Caitlyn sitting in the back lane 1v2, and Caitlyn taking out the Jinx, and she also takes down the Renekton with her. Now all that's left is Leona. Will they take out the Leona? Leona just giving up, doesn't know what to do. She will go down to Payton. That'll be a triple kill and an ace for the team. And red team just digging themselves more into the hole now.
I think we should see a surrender come out, because I don't think they're gonna come back from this, because red team's one-dimensional comp really bit them in the back. Because I mean, even though you have a little bit of unconventionality mixed in with Akali and Renekton, the rest of the comp is just screaming out, we're going to come and engage on you, and it's just a matter of when rather than what you're going to do.
Jinx, Caitlyn just taking down the turret, and even you just saw the duel between Caitlyn and Jinx right there. Caitlyn coming out extremely on top with just an EQ combination. So
despite being CC'd.
Yeah, despite being CC'd. So, you know, you can see how far up blue team is, and red team, they need a lot of catching up to do.
Hopefully Jinx will finish her Infinity Edge, because last game she didn't do that either. She was sitting on a BF sword for 30 minutes, 30 or so minutes. And honestly, there are a couple of things I can fault out with red team. One is that they don't farm. They're not extremely, you know, mechanical in their approach, so they're not able to keep up and farm with their opponents. And the other thing is they just need to get some variety into their comps, and they just are unable to bring it. Maybe they're not comfortable playing something else, or they're just too hesitant to bring it out in a match that actually, you know, matters. And when it happens. And Captain Awesome doing a lot of damage on a Leona, and despite Leona not having too many items, she does have a lot of health, and Captain Awesome does chunk her down with the Brutalizer. You know, that's the build that we commonly see out of a Queen. You'd see the Yomus being rushed, and she goes a different path than most ADCs do. Somewhat similar to what Lucian does, what Lucian used to do back when the bot RK used to be a standard item on him. And Jinx wisely using W, but still gets caught.
Now we have Jarvan going again, aggressive, catching members of people. Friendly with the Cataclysm does go out. Ascension taking down Jarvan very fast. We just have Kate in the back lane doing as much damage as she can. her up. Finally back to this team. Going into the EQ, does hit it, and that's a quadra kill for
That's
Caitlyn.
a penta.
Very well played team fight by the blue team, catching them out with the dead sentence, landing the stun, using the ultimates properly, and Caitlyn just being untouched in that bot lane. Very good play by Jarvan also, catching almost 3 to 4 members out and then flashing out of his own Cataclysm to just keep them CC'd in. And Caitlyn, you know, just standing back. But you have a fed AD carry, that's what you need to do. You just need to make sure that your AD carry is just at the back of that team fight and just shooting. As long as that's happening, no matter who she's shooting,
she's gonna get damaged out. Yeah, pretty much.
Is.
Things going down on Baron. I think that would be a little too. Wisely choosing to back off. You know, even though they're quite far ahead, you don't want to get you know, risk a Baron steal and then Akali just jumping in. That team fight, it was not spread out. It was something that blue team, both teams would have wanted actually. But you know, blue team just coming out on top just because of the sheer dominance of this Caitlyn in lane. You know, just standing back there, they're not focusing the right targets, or should I rather say they can't focus the right, you know, enough targets. Even if they spread out, I mean, you have Renekton who can keep a target CC'd for a while, and so can Leona, but if they both are CC'ing the same amount of targets, you know, it's not going to work out. I mean, the same target, I mean, and you can see blue team, the number of things they used on Akali's Shroud. This just took Leona like 20 seconds to clear. They really don't want to.
Now over the Dragon Pit area, we do have Leona getting caught out, and she's just gonna get deleted off to the map. Not even getting a chance to live or try and escape. He's just gonna accept her fate, and now we have 4 members of blue team down that mid lane turret. Will they take it or will they not? We got 2 members
Find out
of
the next episode of Dragon Ball
backing up. Yeah, but now we have Caitlyn just pouncing on that inhibitor turret, doing a lot of damage, and all they just need to do is make sure that she hits, and we have the dead sentence coming out, it doesn't connect. So yeah, red team, you know, I have no idea what they're gonna do, but they're just gonna try and see if they can extend the game and probably catch blue team on a positional error and probably hopefully see a change towards there. But looks as if now it doesn't look like happening.
Okay, no, honestly, if red team's confused. Let's be honest here, because you know they find themselves in this situation too often, and even if they're trying to get out people, you know, with catches in the jungle or anywhere, you're not going to be able to do that without having wards. I mean, there are 3 wards, and both of them are in the river, and you can't. The river, honestly, is not a place that you'd want to catch somebody out, because you know you can't have enough wards covering the sides. They should, honestly, in my opinion, red team should just ward up their jungle and pray to God that, you know, Syndra, Jarvan are
well,
tough
the
enough
top
to go on
lane
their own.
you have just keep tower diving them, taking out almost a lot of people, and the tower still living a bit. Renekton flashing out, the ignite is ticking, but now we have the ace in the hole coming out from Caitlyn, and that will be another ace. Oh, sorry, it's not an ace. We do have Leona and Akali up that somehow managed to survive from that dominating blow coming out from the blue team. But yeah, the top inhibitor turret will be falling, no doubt about that, and hopefully an inhibitor. Yeah, we will be seeing an inhibitor being taken down. Hopefully, we do have Captain Awesome in the back over there backing off, and we do have Jinx's ulti coming in, but it does miss Quinn over there just by a little bit. And yeah, we have Akali trying to play a little bit aggressive, trying to get them out of the base. The dead sentence does land, and she will pay for her over aggression.
You know, honestly, kids, you see those pink wards over there and that the whole ward coverage. That's why you buy wards. That ultimate of Caitlyn, you know, that was only because she had vision. And what gives you vision? Wards. Or the Scuttle Crab. I mean, let's be honest. The Scuttle Crab, it just gives you a little vision. Then, you know, the only wards red team in the enemy jungle, I mean, you're not going to be able to fight them there. You're not, if you're being, you know, held to your own base, why are you warding the enemy jungle? And that too in really unorthodox places. Because it's not like they were going to go for Dragon. You know, blue team was posturing around top lane. And just, there's a lot of issues with red team, you know, not warding.
For there, we have a surrender coming out.
Yeah, expected. It should have been 7 minutes ago, but let's be honest. You know, you just want to learn a lot from this scenario. I'm being a little too harsh, but it's okay. When you're in that, when you're being, when you're down, you just want to learn as much as you can from the game. So that's pretty much nothing more to it. Then it was just a pretty one-sided game. I mean, it took over once